That's it.
Going back to the cost of living in the country, we know we're in the top 10 in the world in terms of, I guess, what it costs to live in the Bahamas. And so I want you to talk about high-end real estate. There have been questions about will the high-end real estate, because there's also the thought that the crypto boys have driven up the cost of real estate further west. And will that somehow balance out? Will there be a fallout in the prices, etc.? Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's going to balance out because, you know, what's going to happen is all those land that was purchased has to be liquidated. You see? And so if the purchase price was $14 million, you know, in the liquidation process, you may end up just getting $4 million for it. You understand? And so basically you will have a balancing of the system all over again, because now, you know, this is time what people call it carpetbaggers, people who are taking advantage of a bad situation. So all those properties on the west that was paid for a top dollar, when the liquidators go to the market, you know, they can't get what they need to get. They can get what they could get. You know, and so what happens is that you'll find that the market value will start to come down. You start to deflate a bit again.
Yeah.
And so I'm not too concerned about that. Had they not, this not happened, you would have seen a continued escalation in the price.
And it absolutely was. That people were complaining about it. I mean, even people who perhaps couldn't qualify, right? Yeah. But still wanted a bit of access, but couldn't because it just continued to be out of reach.
Listen,
for so many.
We talked about, you know, to purchase property in the Bahamas is expensive because you got just the realtor alone gets 6%. You know, 6% of the top. You know, and so when you're looking at, you know, $1 million home, you're almost with $60,000. Just for the realtor. And so you know, when we're talking about controlling prices, and when I say the government can't reach over to the private sector, you know, that's one of it the government should really try to reach out. How do you regulate, you know, to regulate the cost of living? Is to say, listen, we may have to bring that down. And I know I stubborn them to us, so I can leave it right now.
So bring down what the realtors are making, or bring down the fact that the price of property in a certain area of new properties was just going too fast, too much.
The price of property is included in the realtors fees, and then the lawyers get their share as well too. I think it's 2.5%.
You're really stepping on toes. I don't know if
the lawyers get their share, the realtors get their share, and then that's the final cost. And so, really, when you see a piece of property, say $300,000, you got to figure, okay, well, that's nice, I want to buy that. But when you figure out, when you add all, this one got to get their cut, that one got to get their cut.
Oh, that's nothing to do with the buyer, though. Like, if I look at a property that's $300,000, I pay that $300,000, you all sort the rest out. What you laughing at, Cassie?
You're the buyer. If you have a realtor selling you that, you got to pay the realtor fee on top of that.
You have to do it?
The realtor got to get their cut.
Sure, listen.
See, whether that's net or gross is another story. That may be gross. At the end of the day, what happens is you're looking at who's get their fee. Then you got to go for the lawyers got to get their fee. Everybody got to get their fee. And so, you know, and so that also have the cost of living in the Bahamas high.
Yeah.
And you know, it may not go well because that's a very protected entity in the Bahamas, the real estate association. But you know,
one of those quiet industries
it's quiet.
You don't hear much about, and they want it to remain that way and leave it alone.
Yeah, but of course they're making a hell of a lot of money, and the average man on the street who needs to get property got to go through a realtor. They got to pay them fees, and so if the government say, listen, okay, let's reduce the real estate fees from 6% to 3%, that does a lot for bringing costs down.
Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also follow our TikTok account. Thanks.